Hello.
No,
Hi, good morning. Can you see my screen?
I can see that.
Okay, all right. So today we are going to start Webho. Can you hear us? Tabriz, you are able to hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear
I think Webho is having some issue.
you. Yeah.
We'll wait for Webho to reconnect. In the meantime, I'll log into the system. All right. So today we will start now. Today we are going to start a new topic, which is called storage control. So storage control, we have already discussed during our inbound and outbound processing. We are now going to see the demonstration of storage control. Before that, we'll do a quick recap of what we discussed on storage control. So storage control is nothing but a complex way to carry out a putaway or stock removal process. So instead of you directly doing GR, doing putaway, you use the system to determine process steps, to perform product movements in the warehouse. Let's say for example, for good receipt, you do the GR and then take it for quality, do unloading, then take it for quality, do consolidation, then do the put away. So basically it's due to the constraint that you are having in your stock removal and put away process, okay, due to the process requirement. Let's say, these are the processes. After you put your material in the GR zone, you have to take it for deconsolidation, you have to take it for quality, and then do the put away. Yet similarly, when you are dispatching the product from where you have to pick, take it to a packing station, then stage it, and then do the loading. Okay, so sometimes this movement can be, sometimes this process flow can be based on, sometimes this movements will be based on the processes, right? This process have to do, then next process, then next process. Or sometimes they can be, sometimes you can control the movement based on the layout of your warehouse. Let's say you decide that every time you want to place the stock here in this racking, you have to first place it here, then place it here. So immediately after quality, the stock will be placed here and then it will be placed here. So we've already discussed there are two kinds of storage control: process oriented and layout oriented. Process oriented, you know, your intermediate steps to do the change in processes due to the different processes you have. Okay, and same way your layout oriented, your process, your inbound or outbound process. If there are any layout restrictions, they will go via something, or if there is a lift, they will go via lift, or a pillar, they will go via this pillar, and then they will be kept here. Then another metal handling equipment will take it. So the another possible reason for layout oriented is you take the product from here, you put it here, it will be forklift, okay, and or let's say it will be a different kind of forklift, okay, and to or a tow train or a handle. Then from here you have to use a high capacity forklift to pick it and place it here. Okay. So generally you use different metal handling, you know, equipments for taking the stock within the warehouse, and another one to take it and keep it on the racking. So you put it here. This is layout oriented. You have to stop here. You have to confirm the task here. Then the next task gets created to take from here and put it over here. Okay. So based on the layout of a warehouse and based on the processes that you have in inbound or outbound, you define your storage control so that when you are doing your inbound, all the constraints you have, processes that has to be carried out, or the layout restrictions that have to be carried out, they get considered. Okay. So your processes may depend on your type of product also. Let's say for some product quality may not be required, some product, you know, deconsolidation may be required. So some product, you know, staging may not be required. So depends on, you know, the how you you know, there are various configuration possibilities which will control where which step is added, and sometimes that step may not be valid for some areas. So storage control is just additional requirements, processing requirements depending on the product and your warehouse. Okay, so the different processes that can be possible in are unloading, counting, quality inspection, deconsolidation, kitting, validated service. These are the processes that are possible, you know, in a storage control for inbound. Okay, similarly, you will have for outbound, you will have picking, packing, staging, validated service. Those kind of processes you can have in outbound as well. Okay, uh, there can be two possibilities that you can take the product directly place it from GR zone into your bin, or you can have either or both of the storage control. You know, you can in your inbound and outbound, you can either have process oriented or or layout oriented. You know? So is it clear? Just a recap of what we understood about storage control in previous session. Shall we go into the system now to see how it is configured?
Yeah, can you go for previous slide?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, one more. The layout diagram warehouse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, Yesterday I am the 1000 and 2000 my storage location, right? So for GR I have
Mm-hmm.
that 1000 location, and for GI 2000 storage location movement of my
Correct.
storage location. So if we have one storage location, is it possible to have warehouse one storage location? Like I have 1000 only for my warehouse. So is it possible?
Yeah, but yeah, that is the basic scenario. You have just one. See, if you
Mm-hmm.
remember, you have created two storage location at your start, and you have assigned two separate availability group
Mm-hmm.
in your initial topic of availability group. Okay, so that's why, you know, it is giving you two storage location.
Okay.
So you don't need to assign separate availability group at your all your storage type. Just change the availability group to just 002 one availability group. So just do a recap of availability group. it's coming because of the configuration that you've done in your initial sessions for your availability group. It's not mandatory.
So so in that scenario, my movement is F1 only. Stop movement is F1 only, right?
See, no, stop movement will be F2. You are changing all your availability groups to 002.
Yeah.
So if you want to just,
No, I see that configuration, but my question is if 1000 locations, so stock movement is F1 or F2?
if F2,
F2.
F1 is even just, yeah, F1 is the standard one which you should be using. Sorry, F2 is the standard one which you should be using. Yeah, I think your plant is,
Two.
so you can see you have given two separate availability groups. Just change it to two. So you are
Mm-hmm.
saying 1000, the stock should be placed into F1. For
Mm-hmm.
2000, the stock should be, the stock in your delivery will be F2. Okay. So just change it here. So when you do the GR, automatically it will always go to F2 only.
Okay.
Now it is going in F1 and you are not placing the stock in the warehouse, and you are also picking, you are receiving F1, you put in the stock in the warehouse, changing it to F2, and then when you are picking, you are looking for F1 again. But F1 is only until you do the put away. Maybe you
Now,
can just make an
no,
availability
now,
group concept.
now it's working, but I'm simple basic question is if I have only 1000 storage location. So in that scenario, what will be the stock type and the movement will be the F1 only, or it will be changed to F2 if only have 1000 storage location.
See, this is the way you configure your system. If you want F1, assign both of them to 001. If you want F2, assign both of them to 002.
Okay,
That's it.
okay, that's my basic question. Thank you.
But the stock in your delivery is F1, so you will be only, system will only look for F1 stock. See, your delivery stock was F1, but the stock that you were picking was F2. Okay? That is why it is not selecting your stock.
Thank you.
Okay? So let us go into the system next. So we did yard for outbound. Now for inbound. Now let us do for process oriented storage control for outbound. Okay, and we'll then be able to also see yard for outbound too. Okay, so the configuration node is process warehouse task define process oriented storage control. Okay, so here you can see a typical storage process. If you can see, it has so many steps: OB01, OB02, OB03, OB04. Okay. Now this is OB01 means, so here you list your step, right? OB01 means pick, pack, stage, load. So your outbound process is comprising of 4 steps. Okay. Then if you see a typical inbound, see what are the steps? I mean, this is in standard system. Yeah? Unload, do the counting. Okay, unload, count, quality inspection. Okay, and then For quality inspection, we need to do all the master data for quality and the consolidation, and then finally put out. So one point you can note here is in your inbound, your last step is always put away, because after put away you don't do any step, right? For your outbound, your first step is picking, because only when you pick, then only you can package, stage it, load it, isn't it? So, these are the steps. Pick, pack, stage, load. Whenever you go the first time, you can see all these 4 steps. Okay, so you can use the same step, or you can copy the steps into Z, like pick, pack, stage, load. You can see over here, like Z, ZBO1, ZBO2. So what we'll do is we'll create a new process, and let us take ZOB1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is already copied for another warehouse. We just change the next level of settings, okay, and use it for our process. So let us copy this and change the steps. WH50 OU2B. Okay, so here we go, and we have 4 steps here. We have added C steps. Now we created steps here. In the steps, you can see an internal step is assigned. So you can create as many external steps, but the number of internal steps are fixed. So for any external step, we assign an internal step, whether it's a count, it's a correction, it's a load, it's a pick, pack, put away, quality, staging, unload, or value service. Okay, and then we assign it to a storage process. So we created storage process OUTB and assign the steps. Okay. Then okay, then let me show you these 4 steps. Z, we'll have to enter here. So ZOB1 is your picking. So picking will take place as per your delivery process type. So delivery has 2010, that process type will be done. So picking will be done from your warehouse. Okay, so for that we don't need to maintain any additional setting. But for packing, where we need to take it to, we need to make an entry here. For staging, where we are going to place it, we need to make an entry here. Okay. Then unloading, what is the process type system is going to take? We are going to make it here. So GOB2 VOB 3 and C. Okay. Okay, so just going to copy this. Later on we are going to determine our own packing and staging area. Okay. So if you want system to determine a packing and staging area, then you remove this and do a check mark here. Okay, so for loading, I'm saying, you know, don't go don't go to any fixed particular area after loading. Loading has to be done on truck or trailer, right? So I'm saying system to determine where the destination should be. See, in picking, you are picking from, let's say, H003, but where you are going to send it for packing. This is the place we are going to mention for packing. Place it here. So you pick from 2010 process type. Then for moving to packing, you know, for your packing purpose, you will use 3070. From packing to staging, again you will use 3070. It's a process type for internal movement. Okay, and then for loading again we'll use 3070. So when we do this in the system, we'll see after picking, then packing what was the process type, then staging what was the process type, then loading what was the process type. And for places, let's say these locations, how they are identified. This is the storage type. It should go for sorry, picking. It should go for packing over here, and then staging over here. So we need to give the storage type. Okay, so if the storage type are fixed, we'll enter the storage type and bin here. Okay, or else you can do a rule based where the system determines based on some more master data settings. Okay, so let us first save this, then we will create a packing storage type and we enter a packing bin over here. Then before we go, our storage process is OUTB. Here we have a check mark over here. Sorry, there was some background noise here, so I had to mute. So, you know, these steps, there are two check marks here. There are duration. So duration determines, like how much time it is going to take for each step. Accordingly, your tasks will have maybe planned time. Okay. Then there are two more check marks here. One is the automatic warehouse task. So once you do the picking, and then it goes to packing. So once you complete packing, the next task from packing to staging should be created automatically. Okay. So we can also do it automatically. So the next task for loading also gets created automatically. But generally, loading is done on the RF guns where the task is created and confirmed at the same time. So we don't create tasks in advance. So just let's have a look at the standard way how system works. And then you have another point here, product topic HU task. So if you recollect, initially storage control, we have discussed that the prerequisite for storage control is that it should always work with handling units. Okay, so basically, this storage process that we created, OUTB, gets applied to handling unit. Okay, so but you can, in some cases you can create product tasks. Let's say picking can be a product task. Okay, your putaway can be a product task, but for moving the products from one storage type to another. And first or the last, I think, step can be a product task. But for moving within the storage type, completing each steps, you need to have handling unit tasks. Okay, so at some places, let's say if I try to make the product, system may give me error that it's not supported here, product task. But if I do it in picking, it might say here also it is not supporting, but maybe for value-added service or some places it might support, creation of product task. Otherwise, every time it should be a handling unit task. Okay. So handling unit task is required because the task that gets created, for handling unit, this process is going to be applied to that handling unit. So we are going to do pick, pack, stage, load. So you should be able to see for your handling unit which step is going on for that particular product, whether it's in the picking, it's in the packing, it's staging, loading. So that step or these steps can be seen on the handling unit, it cannot be seen on the stock. Okay, so we need handling unit. That's the way system is configured here. Okay, so let us go to our steps again. Let us get some packing areas. Yeah. So I go to packing area. So if we look at our layout now, let us see where we can accommodate a packing area, because okay, we already have a packing area which is 8030. Okay, so we pick from here, we packed it here, we stage it over here. So staging is GI zone. If we want, we can give a different staging area. Okay. So if you want, we can give another staging area here. For POSC, it's same like 9020, but since it is POSC, we might, for all outbounds we use this, but only for POSC we may use the staging area. And from here, your stock will be loaded on your truck or trailer. So from here, let's say we have doors over here. Let us create some doors here. Yeah. So these are the doors based on which we are going to connect to yard. I think for our warehouse we created just two doors, door 1 and door 2. One for inbound, one for outbound. So we can do this. D R 1, D O 1. Okay. So this is kind of a connection between yard and your warehouse. So we will use some here. So yeah, so from staging it will directly load into your trailer here. Okay, so we can also give some create some checkpoint here. So this is the inbound checkpoint. This is your outbound checkpoint. Okay, and then so this should be inbound CHK. So vehicle comes from here and it goes from CHK and then we can create a lot of parking spaces in the way we want. These are parking for loans. Let's say these are parking for not one types of roads. Okay. The storage type we used for yard was so here it's a integrated scenario where we use yard and use warehouse, use quality, use valuable service, all those things. Okay, so what was the yard storage type? It was YRD8. This is the yard storage type. Okay. So now our packing is in this storage type and staging is in this storage type. So we're going to pick here, take it to packing, then take it to staging, and then do the loading. Okay. So this is for our outbound. Okay. So since we had already created a packing area 8030, you can see the storage type role is that of a work center. Okay. So these things that you do, unloading is okay, quality, deconsolidation, kitting, validate service, all these are required to be created. These storage types are required to be created work centers because at these places you are going to perform some actions on the product. Okay, so we create them as work centers. Then just copy this 8030 wherever you need it. Then we need to create a bin, right? Because when we go for packing, there is a bin in each work center, right? So we'll create a packing bin. Storage type 8030. So whenever we create storage type, we make sure that we have created activity areas also. So let us see if there are any activity areas created for this. So whenever you are doing this new scenarios, just make sure that you remember your or you recap your previous scenarios, previous sessions or previous things that we have done, because if you don't create activity area, then your queues will not be determined and so on. You might face some or the other issue. So make sure whatever process we have followed initially, whatever we are using new, um, we are doing new things, so we copy them. Yeah. So the way we did our storage type creation, same way, in our initial sessions, we are creating a new storage type. So make sure, your new storage type, you do all the settings that we had done initially for our storage types. So I think here for 8030 we don't have bins assigned, so I'll say assign all bins of 8030 storage type. Okay, then I'll say do the sort sequence. So what all actions we are going to perform for our storage type? We are going to perform picking and internal actions that we are going to perform there. Yeah, internal movement. We might also do physical inventory, but we will take it later. 8030 internal. 8030. Okay, let us see. Okay, so as we created a bin, that is now sorted so that the activity area is assigned to it. Each time we create storage type and bins, we need to make sure that we do this part. Okay, so don't forget this. So we can see our activity area now being assigned to it. Okay, so this is important. Then, okay, we created that as a work center, we created a bin. Now, if you recollect, we had also created work centers. Okay. So basically, we are going to do packing. So we do a packing at work center. So we have created a storage type. Okay, and for packing, we are going to do it at a work center. So that storage type is created at work center, but we have another org structure element. If you remember the structure element topic in week 1, we discussed that work center is a place where we perform all the actions. So we create a work center, and that work center we assign it to storage type 8030. Okay, so let's say we created a door. Okay, door 1, and in the background we assign it to storage type 9030 or 9040. The same way here, same way staging areas. We created a staging areas, in the background we assign it to storage types. Same way for work centers. We create work centers, okay, and in the background we assign it to storage type. Um, #8030. Yeah, work center is 8030. So let me see what is the relevant one. I think this is looks relevant. I'm going to create my own work center. Okay, so I can give the work center name same as that of storage type, or I can give a work center name as, let's say, GWRC. Okay, so maybe we'll note it here. We can put it in the layout only. GWRC. Okay, this is the work center. And then what we are going to do is we are going to say what step we are going to perform there. Since it's a work center, we are planning to do packing. So the step we will say GOB2. Okay, this is the storage type 8030. 8030, this is the inbound and outbound section. So quickly let us see whether we have created these two sections in 8030 now. Else we'll create just one section 0001. Same section for inbound, same section for outbound. So separate sections are required because let's say in a packing you have a separate bin, separate section, separate bin from where you get your packing products to be packed, separate bin after packing where you keep it. Okay, so if there are big over centers where you do a lot of packing, you take from the area from where you want to pack it and put it into another area after packing. So this is the setting. Then this is the repacking process type. So anything you do a repacking, so this is the process type you are going to use to work center. Okay. Then so we created bin, we know the work center. Let us now again go to process oriented storage control and complete our setting over here. Cross process. Okay, so here we'll say we will do the packing in 8030 and the bin is, I think we created same packing. Okay. Then staging. I think what is this staging 9025. Okay, let us create a bin in staging with the name of staging. It's same like a GI zone. Sorted. I think we don't need to sort staging areas, but I think we will not sort staging areas, but let us do that. So WH80 90, same way as we did here. Just going to say 9025, assign bins of 9025 for that activity. Then what all activities we are going to perform, just put it over here, like 8030 we are going to perform picking and internet movements here. So I'm just copying 8030. I'm going to say 9025 and then 9025, then 9025 again, and again we're also picking here. Okay, so let us now do the sorting. So it's done now. Same way, we create process steps for our, inbound and outbound. For inbound as well. Okay. So what we have done is, let me do another action here. So we know the process type for outbound is 2010. Now, so for outbound, so now if we do a picking, we created the storage process. Okay, so our settings in the storage process is complete. Okay, this process is there, but in which scenario this process is going to be applicable? We need to assign this process somewhere, right? Okay, so I want to make a point here, okay, that the storage process, if we are using inbound, okay, we put the storage process at the warehouse process type, and if we are using outbound, we assign the storage process to the creation rule. So if it is inbound, what we do is we assign the process here INB1. Okay, in the warehouse process type we assign the process. Okay, but when it is outbound, we don't assign it to the process type. So process type, 10101011 is for inbound, process type 2010 is for outbound, but for outbound we don't assign it here. Okay, we assign it to a creation rule. So this is again a big topic which we have in our next week session, which is the warehouse order creation rule. Okay, this is again a big topic which, okay, I'll just give you a high level idea of what this means, warehouse order creation rule means. So if you are picking the stock, okay, warehouse order creation rule will, so you have one, let's say you are picking 10 items, so 10 tasks are created. So warehouse order creation rule will group the task into one order. Okay, so that grouping is done by warehouse order creation rule. Okay, so every time we pick from a storage type, or okay, so just for time being, don't focus on what this warehouse order creation rule does. Okay, just don't consider its application, but I'll show you what a warehouse order creation rule is. So any order you create, okay, any picking or any order you create, okay, in the system, basically it will have a creation rule, any order. Okay, so this is an order, warehouse order. It is for outbound, for inbound, it is having a creation rule DA. So this is mandatory. Okay, it has some application which we will see next week. So any order which is having a creation rules, so what we'll say, whenever we are doing a picking from 8, what's our outbound storage type, 8004, whenever we are doing picking from 8004, the creation rule should be, we'll create a new creation rule, and then in that creation rule we'll assign the process, saying that whenever you're picking from this storage, it should not go directly to GI zone. So we have been picking from 8004 where it goes directly to GI zone, but now what we are going to say, whenever you are going to pick from 8004, now let's say when we picked from 8004, what was the creation rule, and we are going to change it now. We are going to create a new creation rule. Okay, so let me see the task from 8004. Okay, from 8004, whenever we remove the stock, so see this is the picking task that got created. So we can see there would be some or the other rule. The DEF rule was assigned. DEF means default. If you have not done any configuration, system assigns its own creation rule. So what we are going to do is we are going to create our own rule, and in that rule, whenever we are going to pick from 8004, this new rule will be applied, and in that rule we'll assign the storage process. So this is very important point which I want to make is, whenever it's inbound, to use it at we assign the process, a process that is list of steps to the warehouse process type. Whenever it's outbound, we assign the list of process to the warehouse order creation rule. Okay. So let me go to close this. Let me go to um, the configuration of creation rule. So what creation rule does, that's simply not in scope for this week's session. And copy any creation rule. Mm, guys, okay, let me take this warehouse WH80. Okay, give me the rule is Z into, okay, you can see WCR. Here we go for the creation rule. So rule for I'll remove the filters. Save. So I just created a rule. So we go with this rule, and this rule, do we have anything mentioned? Okay. So now we are going to say, whenever we are going to do picking from 8004 like this, we are going to say for warehouse WH80, whenever the activity area is 8004 and you are going to pick, use creation rule WCR. Okay. So whenever tomorrow, I think today we may not be able to demonstrate, whenever I'm going to pick from 8004, this is the rule that is going to come. And now what we are going to do is, in that rule, okay, we are going to assign a storage process, that is OUTB. Okay. So whenever we are going to pick from 8004, a rule WCR will be assigned, and in that rule, this is the process, so it will go via this process. So it depends on from where you are picking, it can go through storage process. Okay. So I have not today discussed on the layout oriented. Today my focus was only on process oriented. Just to recap what we did, we created a process for outbound. In process we did 4 steps: pick, pack, stage, load. For packing we created a work center. For staging we already had a staging area, storage style. We created bins, and then we assigned those packing and staging bins to those storage to those steps. So whenever it is packing, it's going to go here. Whenever it's staging, it's going to go here. Okay, and then we have also, you know, uh, determined a warehouse order creation rule, and in that rule we assign the storage process. So this is the important point. Just make a note of this. Okay. So same way, we can create a rule for process for inbound, where we do unloading, counting, deconsolidation, wallet, service, input away. Okay. So for inbound configuration, we assign it to the process type. Okay. Process oriented storage control always works with handling unit. You can use for good receipt and good issue process. So based on where you pick, based on where you are taking, based on the process type, based on the type of handling units, you can control, your layout oriented or process oriented. So these are the 4 important parameters which play a very important role in how your storage control is used, whether layout or process, and these are the 4 parameters you need to focus on. We specify the workstation that will be determined within the good receipt or good issue process. Okay. We determine the warehouse process type, our delivery type and item type are same. Uh, you know, this is the prerequisite for put away. But for our stock removal, we don't need to do this. So in our put away, we instead of 1010, we do 1011. So that determination, and if you want to change the type of delivery or kind of items, so you will put it that way. So inbound will not, we'll come back to this slide when we are talking about inbound, and we'll run through the inbound settings in the slides maybe tomorrow once we test the entire outbound. So we'll keep the size aside for some time. So I think we'll stop here today. We did all our configuration. Now what we need to do is test our configuration, so which we are going to do tomorrow. So any questions on storage control? We today specifically spoke about process oriented. So tomorrow we are going to test the process oriented storage control. Then we are going to see the configuration, similar configuration, how we can do for inbound. And then subsequently we are going to test the layout oriented storage control as well. So any questions so far on today's session? Okay, if not, shall we end this session for today and we'll catch up again tomorrow?
Okay, bye.
Alright, thank you. Bye.